dropped it. So check this out. I was getting my hair done today, and I was talking to my homegirl, which is my beautician, and her husband. And we was just talking about a few things. You know how you do when you get your hair done or you're in the barbershop. You just chop it up, You start talking about real life stuff. So when her husband came in, we got an opportunity to kind of get a perspective from a man or whatnot. So we were talking about expectations and communication. And it was crazy because it's like, you know, it's amazing to see how other people think, their perspective on things. Don't make it right or wrong or whatnot. It's just amazing to hear the different views on, certain topics and certain things, and, hearing from the counterpart, exactly why is it that they feel that things happen the way they do. So, one particular question I was asking, I wanted to know was why is it so hard for men to just simply communicate? What is it that men get afraid of when it comes to opening up, being vulnerable, and just communicating? And I understand what's simple to me or what's simple to others is not always as simple to the next person or whatnot. And a lot of different things can how can I explain it? A lot of different things can affect how men would communicate or how they would deal with you. So basically his answer was a few things. And he was like, man, to be honest, the reason why a lot of men don't communicate like the way they should is because they want to avoid conflict. There you have it. They don't want to fight. So a lot of times they just let you say what you gonna say and be done with it. But on the flip side, like he said, they internalize stuff. So when you yeah, my bad, I'm sorry. I was always told that if you see the crack, I'm just saying, like, if you see the line, it's too much. So anyway, or maybe that's just my little made up motto, but back to it. So I was like, okay, I get that. I get it. They want to avoid conflict, but yet you internalize it, which is not good, because at some point you're internalizing it and it's going to come out in different ways. You're going to act out on it at some point. You're going to blow up if you continue to internalize. So that was one reason. The second reason was more so because men are afraid that if they express themselves, if they communicate, that you're going to think they're weak. You're going to think they soft, and you're going to think, this might need to, And I get that. I understand that. But some people might think that. And again, I say, an immature person would think that you are weak. A woman will love that and respect you for that. Because like I was telling him, like, for instance, this is an example. We was talking about one word that women use that they really shouldn't, because it's a trigger for most men. When you be like, a real man will do this. So, not even just a real man, but a man will do this. And the minute you say that, it's like, Everything else go out the window. They don't hear nothing else. All they hear is you comparing them to some make-believe, fictional character in your head, or this person that you are maybe kind of just got this ideal of how a real man should be. I don't know, maybe you watched too much Lifetime growing up, BET, who knows. Maybe you watched the Cosbys or something, I don't know. But going back to the point, like he said, when him and his wife are having a discussion, a disagreement, or whatever you want to call it, and she be like, well, babe, I just think that a man will spend time with their family, that you will be there, and even though she didn't say a real man, that's what he correlated a man for. So again, you have to be very strategic when you're talking to men and when you're dealing with them on certain issues, because when you say certain things, they're going to hear comparison. Oh my God, here you go. Here you go. Like, she nagging, she complaining, and they're going to think that ain't nothing ever good enough. Like, I can never measure up. Like, I would never be good enough, because it's always what I'm not doing, what I'm not always doing. So you have to get into a habit that you are affirming them. You telling them what they're doing right, not always what they're doing wrong. So it's very important to remove a real man, or you saying a man or a woman to do this, a real woman to do this, a good mother to do this, a good woman to cook for her man. A good mother do everything she need to do for her kids. Like, all this idea, this thing that's in your head, these ghosts that's not even real, these characters, that we compare our marriages or our relationships to, when we shouldn't. So just being more aware how when you're discussing certain things, or when you might not even be doing it intentionally. It's something that sometimes we do subconsciously without even thinking. We be like, man, I just feel like you should be doing this. If you love me, you'll be doing this. And it's the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, well, some people would think, if you love me, you'll be... That's a form of manipulation. That's what people would think. But at the same time, it's like, that's truly your values and how you feel, that if a person love you, that they would treat you accordingly, or they would act a certain way. And you have to get to the root of the issue, which is, where did you get this from? What made you feel that this is what a person should do if they love me? Is it something that you never had that makes you feel like, okay, that I never had this, so I want this? So it's this ideal fairy tale in your head making you compare your relationship to something that's not even real, or something that's unrealistic. So you definitely have to be more aware of where you're getting your ideals of a man or a woman, or a real man, this real man, which ain't even real, or this superwoman. It ain't no superwoman. Sorry to say it, as much as we want to be some superwoman, we are not. We are all human. So when you dealing with communication, and you trying to get your point across, you have to make sure both of y'all are talking the same language, because it's so easy to lose focus, or it's so easy to be misunderstood because people take things their own way. And we might have this conversation and you're thinking that, oh, we getting it, we getting somewhere. He get it, you know what I mean? Or she get it, and they don't, and you just have to just be more aware and more tentative, more sensitive to how you make other people feel, and I can't stress that enough, that it's very important to put yourself in other people's shoes. You have to real deal analyze situations and think things through. You have to come up with different scenarios, when you're dealing with a person. Like, for instance, if I say, baby, you make me feel this way when you not around, or when you don't call me, or when you say you're gonna hit me back up and you don't. Like, because he might not think it's a big deal. He might just think, oh, it's nothing, but it really is, because your word, if you say you're gonna call me back, or you're gonna do this, or we're gonna go on a date night Friday night, then that's what I expect. So when you're telling that person that, hey, this, it really mattered when you did this, but you didn't follow through, or this is how you made me feel. Well, with that, you have to make sure when you're talking to a person, you let them know, hey, baby, you have been awesome. You know what I mean? Like, you're a really great man, and like, I don't know what I would do without you. Like, you are like just amazing. You know what I mean? Like, you're just awesome. You give them they do. You give them they props when they do. You know what I mean? You tell them, if you affirming people on the regular, when you do decide to tell them how you feel, they won't feel like every time I look up, it's always something. You always mad. You are never happy. What is it? You know what I mean? They won't feel that way if you letting them know constantly, you're amazing. You are an amazing man. Everybody's not perfect. And some people, it takes time. They grow into being a better communicator, or grow into being a better listener, but on the way up, you make sure you praise them for it, and you affirm them and let them know that you appreciate it. I see you. You are trying. Like, I see that. But you definitely, like I said, you want to be careful when you constantly telling men, or you telling a woman what they're not doing right, because after a while, that's all they're going to hear, what they're not doing. And it becomes like you're nagging. And even the Bible says that a man would rather sleep on a roof to be in the house with a nagging woman. So